Tensions are high along Belarus's border as European Union countries accuse Minsk of fueling an uptick in migrant crossings. The treacherous journey has been fatal for some, with reports of at least 5 migrants dying in recent weeks. Anna Noryskiewicz traveled to the region and reports on what's happening there.
As you approach the Polish border with Belarus, an automatically generated text message warns any refugees to turn around.
The Polish border is sealed. Belarusian authorities told you lies. Go back to Minsk.
Dobry wieczór.
On a small strip of land along the Polish-Belarusian border, a battle's being fought. Not with guns, but with human lives. In the span of just 2 months, more than 10,000 migrants have tried to cross into Poland from Belarus, their entry point to the European Union. The migrants are mainly from Iraq and Syria, but others are from Africa and even Cuba. At least 5 migrants have reportedly died over the last 3 weeks after spending days without food and water in the freezing woods and swampland between the border. Determined to keep out refugees, the Polish government responded to this rapid influx of migrants by deploying thousands of troops to the border, erecting checkpoints and razor wire fences, and declaring a state of emergency which has effectively created a media blackout zone.
This is as far as we are allowed to go. The state of emergency means that journalists and NGO workers are not allowed to the border. The problem with that is that nobody knows what happens to migrants who try to make it into the European Union.
The European Union accuses Belarus of encouraging migrants to fly to the capital Minsk on tourist visas and then travel onwards to the borders of Poland and their neighbors Lithuania and Latvia. The aim being to create instability in the region as punishment for EU sanctions that were imposed on the authoritarian regime of Belarusian leader Lukashenko. In the middle of this diplomatic dispute are refugees. Refugees that Poland doesn't want. Poland has been accused by human rights groups of illegal pushbacks, essentially escorting migrants to the borderline and forcing them back into Belarus.
He said his leg is broken. So I asked him, can he walk?
Kalina works for the NGO Ocalenie that tries to help migrants at the border.
Unfortunately, we can't go into the zone of the emergency state. We can only operate outside of it. So if we will be contacted by a person or by a group of people on the move that need some kind of help, they give us their location and we run to the car and we go. And we try to look for them in the woods or in the swamps. And if we're lucky, we can meet them before the border guards.
Near the forest of the Polish border town of Sokuka, we found 2 migrants from Cuba, Radel Brinia and Daniel Pujol, who wanted to claim political asylum in the European Union. But they told us they had been returned from Poland to Belarus twice already. They pleaded not to be sent back again. They claimed if they were sent back, the Belarusian soldiers would beat them and send them back to Poland again. At night, Polish border guards take the migrants away. Although the guards said they were taking them to safety, this is reportedly when the process of illegal pushback starts. Marta Górczyńska is a human rights lawyer who has been following this crisis since August.
Absolutely, there must be some intervention, especially that we're talking about the external EU border. So right now, it's not just the crisis that is happening at the borders of Poland, it's the crisis that is happening at the external borders of the EU. So EU should act, definitely, and it should act immediately, because if they don't, we will see more deaths there.
For the moment, though, there's no EU intervention, and as long as this hybrid war continues and temperatures drop, the situation here on the border will only get worse. Anna Noryskiewicz, CBS News, Sokuka, Poland.